G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Caitlin and I'm an American writer living in beautiful Sydney, Australia. I don't know if you guys saw my last video about 20 American foods that I can actually find here in Australia now, but I know there are a couple Americans out there who are watching this who have either moved to Australia or are planning on moving to Australia, and I have a lot of Australians who might not know that some of the foods here in Australia are actually available in the US as well. So I'm sharing all the brands that I could find that are actually available in both countries, things that I can find in Australia and in the States. So if you want to see what that list is, grab a bicky, grab a cuppa, and let's get right into this video. So I'm going to start off with a disclaimer because I know the way that some people watch these videos is to nitpick and to find anything wrong that they can, and I'm going to start off by saying that I know a lot of these brands are not American brands. I'm simply saying that these are things that I can find in America in most grocery stores and find here in Australia, at least in the grocery stores that I've been in. You might not have these in your local grocery store here in Australia. It's very particular about what stuff grocery stores here do and don't carry. Because I live in a pretty large metropolitan area, a lot of these are accessible to me, but they might not be accessible to you depending on where you live. Same thing in the States. A lot of these brands are really popular and a lot of these are things that I've seen in different grocery stores where I lived, but that doesn't mean they're available across all of America. Now, starting off with dairy Chobani. You can get the regular Chobani yogurts here in Australia and in the States, and also Chobani flips, but there is definitely more of a variety of the Chobani flips in the States than there are here, and the flavors are not the same, which is a little bit sad because I do miss the red velvet ones that they had in the States. Those were so good. Yoplait yogurt, again something that you can get in both countries, and again America does have a little bit more of a variety of it, but the stuff you get here in Australia is still pretty good. Laughing Cow cheese, one of those staples as kids that we had in our lunchboxes growing up in the States, and something that I see here in Australia as well. Along with Baby Bell cheese. Even as an adult, I absolutely love these, and if you're trying to be a little bit more health conscious, Baby Bell here in Australia does have protein ones that are actually really good. And Activia yogurt. As a kid in the 2000s, I remember Jamie Lee Curtis advertising these all the time in the States. So if you're Australian, let me know, did she do the commercials for these yogurts here as well? I have no idea, but I remember seeing her all of the time on my TV in the States when I was like in my teens. Next is chocolate. You can actually get Hershey's chocolate here in Australia, but not the regular milk chocolate. What I've seen here is just the Hershey's cookies and cream. I still can't find milk or dark chocolate here, but to be honest, Hershey's dark chocolate is kind of disgusting anyway. Nestle you can also get here, not to the same extent. You have things like Nestle's Crunch that you can get here in Australia, but a lot of Nestle's products are American only. Ferrero Rocher, along with Raffaello and Grand Noir. I never know how to say that. I'm going to put it on the screen, you guys. I never know how to say those correctly, and to be honest, I never tried them until I moved to Australia, but I know that you can get them in the States too. Kit Kats. These are known pretty much worldwide. I think it's pretty well known that Japan has a ton of varieties of Kit Kats, but they actually started in Hershey, Pennsylvania, not too far away from where I grew up in Philly, and you can get different flavored varieties of Kit Kats here in Australia. Toblerone. Again, something you can get in both countries. I was never a fan of it, but I've seen it in both places. Snickers, always good for a quick little energy boost. Definitely not a healthy one, but a good one. Lindt chocolate, I absolutely love it, adore it. Was obsessed with it when I was in the States. It is some of the best chocolate that you can get in the shops over in the States. And it's actually a pretty good one that you can get in the shops here in Australia too. Twix was probably my favorite candy bar growing up. M&M's, another classic American candy that you can get here in Australia. And yes, I know I'm saying candy, chocolate, lollies kind of interchangeably here. It's going to be a very confusing video, you guys, on that one. Sorry. Milky Way. Although the Milky Way here in Australia doesn't taste like the Milky Ways over in the States. The Milky Ways in the States have like nougat and caramel, whereas the ones here kind of taste like an American Three Musketeer bar. Rolos or something you can get here too. Along with Terry's oranges, which you can really only find in the States around the holidays. You'll see a lot of places sell them like in their Christmas aisle, their holiday aisle. Whereas here in Australia, you can get them all year round. Extra lollies or candy, Haribo gummy bears, pretty much the same in both places. Skittles, you can actually get the regular and the sour flavors here, but you don't get the huge variety and all the funky flavors that you can get over in the States. If you want to freshen up your breath, you've got Mentos and a lip scummiture available in both countries. You can also get Push Pops in both countries, but it's actually kind of tough to find Push Pops over here in Australia. I see them once in a while, but they do exist here. Sour Patch Kids are pretty popular. So are Tic Tacs if you're still looking for the breath freshening up stuff. Werther's caramels, again, America has a little bit more of a variety of these, but you can definitely get certain varieties of them here in Australia. Nerds you can get, again, bigger variety in the States. That's probably going to be a common theme of this video, is that you can get more of a variety of things in the States. But they definitely do sell at least the basics here in Australia if you need to scratch that American itch. Lifesavers, which I remember were way more popular in the 90s, and they're actually a little bit tougher to find over in the States. Hubba Bubba gum, which is, again, very popular in both countries. I've seen a ton of flavors in both countries. Pez, I feel like these are kind of popular around the world, but you can get them in both places. Last in the lolly section are Trolley gummies. There's going to be different varieties and different flavors because Trolley makes so much. But if you're just looking for the basics, whether it's like the sour gummy worms and whatnot, you can get them in both countries. Drinks, I'm going to power through this one because let me tell you, this one's a long list. You're going to find a lot of the same drinks in both places. This one's going to upset a lot of Australians, but you can get bottled Starbucks in both countries. It's not the Frappuccinos that you're used to seeing in the States, but you can get bottled Starbucks here. Along with Fanta Orange Soda, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Powerade, Sprite, Red Bull and Monster Energy drinks, Gatorade, Pellegrino, Twinnings or Twinings, I never know how to say that tea brand, but you can get them in both countries. Lipton tea, which is typically what I used to make black tea, that's what I grew up on. Sunkist, which is a little bit more of an inferior orange soda to Fanta in my opinion. Evian water, which tastes like filtered water, why would you spend that much on water? Bubbly, which again is better in the States, not that good in Australia, and I did mention that in my previous video. Nesquik in both the chocolate and strawberry flavors. Ovaltine, which surprised me, I thought that was just an American thing. V8 tomato juice, Mountain Dew, Rockstar Energy, Fever Tree, which is a great mixer for gin and tonics. Coffee Mate, which was surprising because you don't really find the liquid coffee creamer, but you can get the powdered creamer. And Perrier bubbled water. For chips, there are some common ones. You can get Doritos, but the Doritos flavors are different. You have nacho cheese, which is the same, but you can actually get original flavored Doritos here, which is basically just unflavored tortilla chips. Pringles, you can get different varieties in both places. There's some that you can only get here in Australia, some you can only get in the US, and again, the US just has a bigger variety of them. Mission tortillas, and this is annoyingly, other than Doritos, the only kind of tortilla brand that you can get in a lot of places here, unless you want to make your own tortillas here. And Cheetos, or at least Cheetos Puffs. I still haven't seen the regular bags of Cheetos here. I don't know if they sell them here, they're just not in my grocery store, but you can get Cheetos Puffs over here, and they taste pretty much the same. Pantry Items stuff is a little bit all over the place. You can get McCormick spices, you can get Old El Paso spices, Fiber One bars, which funny enough, I remember my freshman year of college, I had a box of those lying around. My roommate didn't realize what they were, ate the entire box in one sitting, thought they were absolutely delicious, spent the next 3 hours in the public bathroom. Heinz, both ketchup and mustard. Sweet Baby Ray's, which does an okay barbecue sauce and an okay buffalo sauce. It's kind of mid. Frank's Red Hot, the hot sauce is good. Their buffalo wing sauce, best buffalo wing sauce you can get in a grocery store in my opinion. French's mustard, probably the best yellow mustard that you can get. Tabasco, it's Tabasco. It has a very distinct flavor. You can't really imitate Tabasco. Cholula, which is probably my go-to hot sauce, is if I ever use hot sauce, it just has a little bit more of a flavor and a little bit less heat to it. Hellmann's mayonnaise. Stubbs barbecue sauce, which I know it's a little bit pricey, you guys, but one of my favorites. I absolutely love it. I get the original one. That is my go-to sauce that I use whenever I make ribs. Trust me, if you haven't tried it before, I know it's a little pricey, but buy a bottle and give it a try. To me, it is worth every penny. Ocean Spray for pretty much anything cranberry related. Bullseye, which again, another kind of mid-level barbecue sauce. Oreos. Need I say more? Nutella, and yes, I say Nutella instead of Nutella. I don't think that's something that's ever going to go away. Maybe one day it will. Catch me if I ever say Nutella instead of Nutella. But yeah, available in both places. Now this, I don't know if the brand is Lotus or the brand is Lotus Biscoff, or if Biscoff is the flavor. Either way, you can get Biscoff flavored stuff from the Lotus Biscoff brand. Nature Valley granola bars. Atkins diet stuff. I don't even know if you can really classify all that processed stuff as food, but you can get Atkins here. And finally, Jack Link's meat products, which again is really processed, but probably healthier than anything Atkins sells. Next are frozen food. McCain's, really popular French fry brand in the States, and seems to be pretty popular here in Australia as well. Lean Cuisine, I've left my comments on that in my past video. If you want to know my feelings on Lean Cuisine, go and watch that one. Weight Watchers, same thing. Bird's Eye, very popular frozen food brand over in the States and pretty popular here as well, though it does tend to be a little bit more pricey than just the store brand frozen food. Magnum, I'm talking about the ice cream here, you guys. Halo Top, that sad little excuse for ice cream that you're probably better off just not eating instead of eating an entire pint of. Like, I'd rather eat 2 tablespoons of Ben & Jerry's and an entire pint of Halo Top for the same level of calories. And Ben & Jerry's, yeah, you can get Ben & Jerry's here too. Again, not as much variety, but you can get the good stuff. You can get fish food, and that's what matters. Skinny Cow, which I'm not quite sure is really ice cream. It's good if you want something sweet and low calorie, and it kind of hits the spot, but I don't know if you could really call it ice cream. Next up, we've got household products. One of these is Raid, whether it's the ant killer, the roach killer, Raid bug killing products. Glad for things like trash bags, bin liners, trash bags. Yeah, I still call them trash bags. Kleenex, and I do still have that American habit of asking for a Kleenex instead of asking for a tissue sometimes. Maybe one day that'll go away, but for now, I still say Kleenex. Windex, which you can also get here. Energizer batteries. I think most kids of the 90s remember those Energizer battery bunny commercials where Energizer battery keeps going and going and going. Palmolive dish soap, which is okay, not the best out there, but does the job. Febreze, which smells just like the Febreze back in the States. It smells the same. Scotch-Brite, which I never used in the States, but I do know existed in the States, and I saw it here too, so apparently if you use Scotch-Brite in the States, it's something you can use here. WD-40, because if it can't be fixed with WD-40 or duct tape, I don't know how to fix it, and I have to call my husband. Pledge cleaner, Airwick for any sort of scented products. Command strips, which if you rent here in Australia are going to be a godsend because you're not allowed to put holes in the walls here in Australia too if you're renting. So trust me, you're going to rely heavily on command strips here. And last is Glade candles. So that's it, random American-ish brands, or at least brands that I could find in America that are also available here in Australia. Let me know down below, did you guys know if any of these were also sold in the States as well? I know most of my audience is based here in Australia. And like I said, a lot of the brands that I did mention are not American or Australian specific brands. I know a lot of these are global and international. These are just brands that you can get in most places in both countries. So let me know if there's anything on this list that surprised you, anything that you didn't realize was something you can get in the States too. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you guys like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. I really do appreciate the support, you guys, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!